Thank you very much. I want to submit the record, this article from the San Bernardino Sun, published on April 6th, titled Julie Su Prepares to Forgive Herself for Julie Su's Mistakes. The article references guidance issued by the Department of Labor in December 2023 and potential for forgiveness of an estimated $30 billion in fraudulent pandemic unemployment benefit payments issued by California Economic Development Department. After looking at guidance from December regarding state finality laws, it appears that DOL is in effect allowing states to sweep fraud under the rug and not pursue fraudsters and recoup the billions lost to them. This is what articles say. So, Acting Secretary Su, thank you very much for coming out today, because I've been really asking this to you directly, because this is very important hearing. And I want to request, before I ask a question, that provide this committee with a copy of February 2024 letter referenced in this article and any relevant correspondence between California EDD and DOL.
Those exhibits are submitted without objection.
Thank you. Does DOL intend to forgive the nearly $30 billion in fraudulent payments that the California EDD paid out to fraudsters, scammers, and known international organized crime rings that occurred under you in California?
Thank you, Congresswoman, for giving me a chance to address that. It is absolutely false that the guidance that the Department of Labor put out would forgive any fraud. So fraud is never okay. We do not condone it. We should not overlook it. And in fact, both our OIG and others have been trying to combat the fraud that was overwhelmingly paid in a program that was set up by Congress to address the pandemic, that allowed for both automatic backdating and self-certification in its design. So the fraud is not acceptable, and we, at the Department of Labor, certainly did not waive any kind of efforts to combat the fraud or to recover fraudulent payments. In fact, just recently, my Inspector General chased some funds all the way to another country in which fraudulent funds were used to purchase property, and we are now trying to seize that property in order to get the money back. We're serious about combating fraud. What the guidance did was, within the CARES Act, there is the ability to waive non-fraudulent overpayments that might have been made to individuals, working people who struggled through the pandemic like anybody else and got overpayments that were not their own fault. And so the waiver is
so
meant to—
let me just ask you then, out of $30 billion from California, that how much is just overpayment, not fraud by those criminals? So how much are we talking about?
It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, ma'am, because after I left California, there was still work being done, and I think all states are still trying to assess exactly what happened during that period of time, but again, overwhelmingly in a program that was not typical unemployment insurance. It was
I'll just reclaim my time, but thank you very much for your assuring us that you are not doing it because forgiving these fraudulent payments would appear to be a major conflict of interest.
Wait, Congresswoman, can I also clarify that the guidance was not just for California? The guidance about non-fraud overpayments.
I get that, because out of $130 million, 25% actually fraudulent payments was made in California. So that's why I'm asking you for that. And not only that, State Controller knows California is waiting for final federal approval of EDD's request on indicated in the February 2024 letter before the event can be recognized in the financial statement as a forgiveness of debt. That's what actually they wrote it on the financial report on the California. So financial reports. So I really want to see that why they created this kind of language on their financial statement, because you already knew, because you are the one stated that EDD's lack of preparation left it unable to manage. So you knew that when we were getting CARES Act money that, you know what, all these criminals, they might gonna take money. And then you already stated that California did not have enough security measures in the place when you were actually labor secretary in California. So you know what, this is actually under your watch that happened. If you are actually forgiving this fraudulent payments to California, it's not really acceptable. And I really thank you for your assuring us that you are not gonna do it. But you did it on AB5. Actually, AB5 is wiping out all the independent contractors, except the few industries that you said that you would not and could not to implement in the nationwide in United States, but you did it anyway on March 11th, that your department issued new rules.
The
that
gentlewoman's
took
time has
AB5.
expired.
So you know what, I really want to make sure that you are not forgiving this $30 billion of California, that money went to all these criminal rings. So thank you, my time is up, and
The representative
back.
from Indiana, Mr. Mervan, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Acting Secretary Sue. Thank you for being here today to discuss